Action.
Hi guys, welcome back to Divine Pickings. So today I am going to make butter, and if you've seen my previous video, this one will not be as messy. So as you can see here, I have my cream and I already have some in the blender. I get this from raw milk, so you'll have to let it sit overnight and then scoop the cream out with a ladle and put it in a jar or whatever container that you want to use. Now I also have a bowl of very cold water. I will be using this to rinse the butter off to make sure that all the buttermilk is off of it. I have a bowl to catch the buttermilk as I squeeze it out. And what I'll do is I'll take this colander and I'll sit it in the bowl, and I will use a flour sack towel and just put it over top like that, and I'll pour it through there and all the buttermilk will drain off. Now the reason I don't use cheesecloth is because it's very hard to find some that's not mesh material and the butter just smushes right through it while you're trying to squeeze the buttermilk out. Now I also have some salt here. The general rule of thumb is 1 tablespoon per gallon of cream. Today I'll be using about a half a gallon of cream, so I'll only use a half a tablespoon. So I'll go ahead and pour this in here. Set that aside. Now for the half gallon of cream, in my previous experience, it takes about 6 minutes to do it. So I'm going to just put it on high and let it run until I see some yellow swishy stuff. It will go to whipped cream texture, and then it will break back down and you'll see very liquidy and some yellow chunks flopping around in there. So I'm going to start the blender and let it start processing. Okay, so the butter has broke down. See, you can see all the little yellow specks in there. There's a bunch of yellow floating on top. So now I will take it out. I'm going to pour it in my bowl with the colander and the flour sack towel. See the butter coming out. Alright, so as you can see, it is draining through the cloth. All the liquid will go down in the bowl and separate, and then I will squeeze out whatever is remaining. To speed up the process, you can just go ahead and, after it drains some, just go ahead and take your towel and bunch it together. Grab it down here and just start squeezing. Takes a good bit of squeezing to get all of that buttermilk out of there, and the more you can get out, the longer and better tasting your butter will be. Unless you like the sour taste of buttermilk, then you might like the taste of it, but I'm not a fan of buttermilk. Now the buttermilk that does come out here, you can use it for any recipe that calls for buttermilk. Oops. I almost shot my cameraman with some milk. Okay, so that is pretty much all of it. Now I'll take it out of the towel and give it a few more squeezes before I rinse it off. As you can see, it's this beautiful, nice, creamy butter. And obviously you're not going to get all of the buttermilk out. Just try to get as much as you can. Rinse off the butter in the cold water that I had set aside. Squeeze it a little bit more. So as you can see, it's mostly just water. I'm squeezing off of it now. And rinse it one more time. Okay, now I'm going to make a dent in it, and I'm going to add my salt. This is a half a tablespoon for a half a gallon of cream. Okay. Now I'll just start massaging that salt into it. Let's get it mixed up all real good. As you're mixing your salt, you can keep squeezing. I did find out that you can leave homemade butter out on the table. The salt that you put in it does preserve it, so there's no problem with that. I leave butter out on my table at all times, and whatever I'm not using at the moment, I will put it in my container and I'll stick it in the freezer, which will hold it until I'm ready to use it. We don't have to worry about it going bad before we can eat enough of it. These. Okay, so now I'm going to take the towel that I was using to drain off the buttermilk. I'm going to lay the butter on part of it, and I'm going to wipe my hands off so I can get it in the container without the giant mess. So as I showed you in my last video, I got these containers from Walmart. They lock down on 3 sides with 4 clips. And I just take them and I pat them down inside of there, and whatever I'm not using at the moment, just stick the whole container in the freezer. It keeps it very good without letting air get in or getting frostbite or anything like that. We go through butter a good bit though, so if you plan on having butter for like a year or something, you might want to get a different kind of container, one that has more airtight seal to it. Now, let's pick my butter up, start stuffing it down in there. And we have these easy little cubes. When they're chilled or frozen, you just push on the bottom and it pops right up out of there. as you can see, a half a gallon of butter made 4 very large ice cube size chunks of butter. And that is how you make homemade butter from fresh raw cream. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe and share this video. And stay tuned for my next video coming up that will be about how to make homemade cheese. Have a wonderful day. Bye.